Yo, 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 UFC Unfiltered Dalt's take back at you. This weekend we had UFC Saudi Arabia. It was a pretty solid card, I will say. I wasn't too excited with the amount of fights that went to decision, but I can't complain. Um, we placed 2.8 units. We're up 1.1 units after that card. Up a total of 8.6 units over the last two fight cards. I went 8-3. Out of the 11 fights, 8 of my predictions were correct. And then overall, over the last two fight cards, we're 17-6, so I can't complain there. So first off, we're gonna talk about the Hamdi versus Jamal Pogue fight. If you watched that fight, I hope you were as upset as I was. The scorecard was nuts. I don't know how they gave Hamdi 27-30 or 30-27. Whatever judge that was smoking something, but I think Jamal Pogues outstruck Hamdi all day. I had Jamal to win, so I was pretty upset there. Hamdi looked dry, dude. I mean, Jamal could have gave it more, but he was throwing some solid strikes and punches. If I'm not wrong, I think I just saw something that said Jamal Pogues was released from the UFC roster, so that's unfortunate. If anything, I think Hamdi needs to go with that gut he's got there. Man, he was not impressive whatsoever. I heard he had a lot of grappling game. He took one takedown, he landed it. He honestly controlled Jamal for the most part when he was on the ground, but I don't know why he wanted to prove a point with his striking because it just wasn't there. He landed a few hooks, but yeah, as far as that first fight, I'm 0-1. On to the Bogdan Grad and Lucas Alexander fight. I had a parlay for Bogdan Grad to win by KO. Unfortunately, I had a parlay and it wasn't a straight bet. This fight was a pretty exciting one. I had Bogdan to win. Oh, excuse me, that steak I had earlier. Um, a lot of UFC channels had Lucas Alexander winning, but I was not riding the train. I had some pretty high hopes for Grad, and he came through with a KO. I'm excited to see him fight again. That was an interesting fight. It could have gone either way, but Grad lit him up and called it quits there. So we're 1-1 on these first two. Jasmine versus Myra. Myra was fighting a weight class down. I heard she looked pretty iffy at the weigh-ins, so no surprise there. Her performance just wasn't what I was hoping for, but I did have Jasmine to win, so I'm not upset at all. I actually had a straight bet for Jasmine to win via decision, so that hit. I also had Jasmine on quite a few parlays, just because it's Jasmine. She was a minus 260. She's going on some win streaks here, but she just outclassed Silva. Um, 7 minutes of control time. Yeah, there's nothing you can do there, Silva. 164 out of 229 strikes. Man, that's a beautiful performance by Jasmine. So we're 2-1 off these first three. Terrence McKinney versus Damir. That was as we expected. Terrence McKinney went out there. He showed him what it was. 69 strikes versus Damir's 4. That is just a masterclass right there. First round KO. I also had that. If you watched the last video, you remember. That was one of my favorite straight bets. I had McKinney to win by KO on another parlay as well. So we're 3 for 1. And then on to Shamil Ghazi versus Thomas Peterson. Peterson, he looked as good as he performed. Let's just say that. Shamil just gave it to him the way it was. Won by KO in the first round. I also believe I had Gaziv by KO as one of my straight bets as well, so that hit. I didn't place a whole unit on it. I shed a few bucks on it, so it wasn't much, but it helped me from going negative on the day. So we're 4-1. And then on to the final prelim fight. Muhammad Naima versus Kane Ofly. This was actually a really exciting fight. I feel like it could have gone either way, but Can just he wasn't. I mean, he came out looking good, but he didn't really give it his all until the last round when he was already down. There was nothing he could do to other than win by KO, but obviously that didn't happen. I had Naimov to win. He, I had him on a few parlays, but I didn't want to juice him too much just because he was minus 360. So we're 5-1 on these prelims, and then on to the main card. Ziam versus Mike Davis. Again, a lot of UFC prediction channels had Mike Davis to win, and again, I was not riding that horse. Ziam is coming off 4 or 5 wins. I believe he was 4-1 in his last 5. He just, oh, man, that was a beautiful performance. Mike Davis didn't come out anything like everyone was expecting, and I'm not surprised Ziam just kept going. 7 minutes of control time, 4 for 7 on the takedowns. His striking was pretty good. He landed some nasty elbows, had Mike Davis gashing. Mike Davis landed a few elbows towards the end of the fight, had Ziam bleeding. That was the roughest fight of the night, I will say. That was an entertaining one. But I had Ziam to win, and I'm more than happy with that. So we're 7-1 so far. Or, no, 6-1. My apologies. On to the next fight. This one I was kind of upset with. Zaid Nurmagomedov versus Oliveira. I wish Zaid he would train with the other Nurmagomedovs because his gas tank was at an all-time low. Buddy looked like me out there. Oliveira had 7 minutes of control time, 3 for 5 on the takedowns. Everyone was expecting Saeed to go out there and just throw some good strikes, take it to the finish, win by decision, but unfortunately, I was wrong, and whoever else bet on Nurmagomedov was wrong as well. So he destroyed a few of my parlays, but it is what it is. So I'm 6-2 so far. And then on to the Sergey Pavlich versus Rosenstrike. I had Sergey to win by KO. Did not happen. Excuse me again. That steak was fire. He was nothing but a beast out there. 145 strikes compared to Rosenstrike's 23, dude. 6 minutes of control time, 2 for 2 on the takedowns. Rosenstrike looked like he just had a kid and he's ready to retire. I also heard that he was removed from the UFC roster after that fight. I'm not sure why. I mean, he was number 9 ranked in the heavyweight division. Sergey did what everyone expected. I mean, other than the KO. I know a lot of my buddies had Sergey to win by KO, and I did as well, but that didn't happen. I was going to straight bet him to win by KO, but didn't. I placed him on a small parlay, like a 3-leg, and he ruined that. So it is what it is, but I had Sergey to win. So I believe I'm 7 I'm losing track. 7-2 so far. Yeah, 7-2. All right, and then on to the Michael Page, Shada, Bullet, Magomedov. Man, this is where my bias hits. I had Shara to win, and he did not do a thing out there. He was kind of dry. I don't know if it's the one eyeball or what, but Michael Page he's different. It's hard to match his energy. He's all over the place. I mean, he's a good fighter. He has now taken out 2 of my favorite fighters, Kevin Holland and Magomedov, but Michael Page is just, I hate to say it, but he's that guy. 23-3. He took that O from Shada. So, yeah, that was a tough fight to watch. I was expecting it to be more entertaining, but it was honestly one of the most boring fights of the night. Of the morning, I should say. So, we are 7-3. And then on to the final fight. I don't care if you're an Izzy fan. Izzy is done for. He is over with. He needs to hang it up. He had his run, and now he's done. You heard it first. He is now 1-4 in his last 5 fights. He's on a 3 losing streak, and I just don't know what to say other than hang it up. I bet on Imavov to win, and he came through. I'm 8-3 on the card, thanks to him. That KO was quite nasty. I will say that the ref did stop it way too early. Early stoppage was not necessary one bit. I mean, you could see Izzy was trying to get up after he'd got knocked down. Like, he was literally on his two hands trying to get up as the ref called it. Not sure what that's about, but I'm just happy Imavov won. He's a pretty skilled fighter. He's on his way up. I'm not sure what's in store for him. He might fight Strickland or Dricus du Plessis, whoever wins that. I also heard he may be fighting for the number one contender spot. I'm sure it's up in the air, but the fights were pretty solid, I will say. I was just happy to see Izzy go down. I mean, he's too hyped up in my opinion. He really is. I mean, he had his good run. He was 20-0 at one point, but goodbye Izzy. If you didn't know, the rapper Drake put a whole mill on that guy to win. FaceTime him and told him he put a mill on him. That's like jinxing him like in his face. Why would you do that? Anyway, so yeah, we went 8-4-3 on this card. We're up 17-6 on the last two cards since I started. I'm pretty excited for next week. We got the Strickland versus du Plessis. It's gonna be a tough one to call. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, if you'd like, subscribe and comment, maybe give it a share. I'd appreciate it. Let your friends know. UFC Unfiltered Dalt's take out.